Hi everybody, Miscellaneous here, taking you to yet another offbeat, interesting and quirky tourist attraction. Today I've been in Valentines Park, which is in Ilford Essex. It is on the outskirts of London and is easy to reach via the Elizabeth line. I sometimes mistakenly refer to this line as the Elizabethan line. Hey nonny nonny! For those of you not in the know, nonny is an Elizabethan nonsense term often used in verse or plays. Indeed, William Shakespeare used it in Much Ado About Nothing, and if you're familiar with Blackadder, you will have heard it there. Enough of that. Come and take a walk in my shoes as I show you grottoes so great that they're considered to be of national importance. I will also show you Jacob's Well, and I'll show you a gorgeous little lake with an island in the centre, with plenty of flora and fauna. As always, don't forget to hit like, don't forget to hit subscribe and click on that notifications bell. I will see you in the video.
We entered the park via the Cranbrook Road gate. The park is very big. It's 130 acres, that's 52 hectares. The park was maybe the inspiration for the Small Faces song Itchy Park, which was a hit in 1967, but that's never been confirmed. It could have been Little Ilford Park, near where the band lived, or even Wanstead Flats. Incidentally, I learnt to walk on Wanstead Flats. Valentine's Mansion sits inside Valentine's Gardens, which sit inside Valentine's Park. Today we're only going to be seeing the gardens and the park as the mansion is closed. I believe it only opens on Mondays and Tuesdays and for other special events, whereas the park is open all of the time until dusk. Here we're entering the Holocaust Memorial Gardens, which were created in 2002. They are 2 granite stones, one an open book. They're in memory of all British survivors of the Holocaust. They're in specific memory of Leon Greenman. He gave regular talks about his time in Auschwitz concentration camp, and he also wrote a book about his experience. Here we can read about the details of the design on the right. The barbed wire represents the enclosure and loss of freedom. The blue and grey represents a uniform worn by prisoners at Auschwitz. The red P represents a political prisoner. It's a reminder of truly how dreadful man can be. There's me in silhouette as the sun comes out. The sun blazed intermittently on this day, although it was very windy. You will see my hair flicker across the camera lens. I'm glad this memorial is here. It is something everyone needs to know about. The park was quite quiet on this day. It was in the morning. I prefer it that way. I used to wander through here during lockdown getting my exercise. At the time I was doing my MA in creative writing, and if I was stuck on anything, a critique or how to finish a paragraph or chapter, I would come here. I found it cleared my head. There's my hair flickering across the screen. One thing my MA taught me was to really look. And here I had to have a gulp at this stumpy tree, just because I liked it. James Brown played in this park in June 1994. It was part of the Redbridge Festival. Now that's one concert I wish I'd attended. I didn't live anywhere near here then though. The park was put together between 1898 and the 1920s, with gifts of land and purchases by the municipal borough of Ilford. In 2019, it was voted one of the 10 best parks in Britain. Between 2007 and 2008, it was extensively renovated, and that was financed by the Heritage Lottery Fund. Many different kinds of trees grow in the park. These include tulip trees, Scots pine, limes, horse chestnut, cedars of Lebanon, and large yuccas. The white building to the left is the Cranbrook Centre. It's the old Cranbrook Bowls Clubhouse. I do remember when that was a working bowls clubhouse. I can remember the manicured lawn out the front. Nowadays, the Red Brick Music Lounge regularly meet in here. As well as hair flickering across the screen, you will see my notes come into view on the left-hand side. I cannot multitask to save my life. Do you know, I've never met anyone who can, despite people boasting to the contrary. I was trying to hold the camera straight in one hand whilst keeping one eye on it and trying to see where I was going. With the other hand, I was wielding my notes, trying to check on them with the other eye and make sure I was saying the right thing at the right time and coherently. It was a work in progress. It didn't work as well as I would have liked, so I've decided to voice over this video. But in the future, I hope to do a little bit of narrating whilst I'm walking around, a little bit of dubbing over the end result, and even some facing and talking to the camera. Please bear with me, I am not BBC trained. In front of us is Melbourne Field. There is a fairground there at the moment, although it wasn't open on this day. I've also been to a fete in the field. The park is definitely much more colourful in summer, as you would expect, but spring has definitely sprung, evident with these beautiful deep pink trees overhead to the right. We're heading towards the drinking fountain, which was built in 1898 by East End builder William Peter Griggs. It's no longer in use. It's in better condition than I have seen it, though. In the little basins, I've seen condom wrappers thrown in, and also the remains of someone's Dixie chicken dinner. How nice. I'm going to head now towards the boating lake. Only for a glance, though. I will show you more of it later, though. Grey squirrels abound in the park. I haven't seen any yet, though. It's a good place to come jogging and walk your dogs. Here are two dogs enjoying their walk and sniffing where another dog's bum has been. I love these two bushes together, the red and the white. You're not supposed to have red and white together in bouquets, are you? Because they represent the blood and the bandages. I don't care. I've had a red and white bouquet before and I loved it. We have some plants growing here on the left. Pigeons and Canada geese. I have been told that Canada geese are evil. They've always been very kind to me, though. The boating lake is looking rather bare and bereft of boats. Here is a bird board telling you about the different species you will find around the lake. Back over the green, and I love this pink tree here. It's got a Japanese feel to it, the way it's slanting and flat across the top. It is so nice having the park to myself. A paucity of people works for me, she says as a person appears on screen. I'm just taking you down to show you Valentines Park Cafe to the left there. It's in the centre of the park with a children's playground behind it. You can get some decently priced hot and cold meals there. They also have a serving hatch for ice creams that's open in the summer. Here I'm heading down the back of the park, still looking for those elusive squirrels. Every piece of water in the park is an offshoot from the River Roding. My notes again. Valentines Park was once considered to be the gateway to Epping Forest. Here I'm crossing over Cranbrook. The road the other side that runs parallel to it is known as the Cranbrook Corridor. Do remember to check out my blog. I will always be a writer before anything else. This piece of water here is known as the Long Canal. This big field here used to have a Lido on it from 1923 to 1995. Plans are afoot to maybe build a new one. You can see saplings to the right held up by frames. A very necessary idea. It has been very windy around here recently. The other day people were playing cricket on here. You do see people playing football here too, having group meetings or sitting down for a picnic. Still no squirrels, although I did manage to see rats. I don't know what the hut to the right is used for, maybe some kind of storage. Although sport is played on the field, I don't think it's a changing room. Several holly trees in the wilderness to the left. Some with berries, some without. Are the ones without berries known as blind? And doesn't a holly tree have to be near another holly tree before it can get berries? My mother did tell me the story when I was a kid. We had a holly tree that was blind for years and then suddenly grew berries. Even at this early time of the year, there were a couple of bumblebees about. I made sure to keep my gob shut. I didn't want one flying in and stinging me in the belly. Aforementioned holly trees. Here we have a bird table and another bird board. Every time I say that, I get a vision of a bird on a skateboard. Yes, rather like that one. Daffodils already out. The fish pond is to the right, and there's an island in the centre of it. A memorial plaque here. You'll see a lot of these throughout the park, either on benches or underneath trees. A lot of people love this place. And a weir with gushing water. Another bird board. Some more arty looking trees at the back. Again, that Japanese garden feel. Whenever I see this lake with its island, I'm reminded of Princess Diana's final resting place. No, she's not here. She's in the family seat, Althorpe, in Northamptonshire. But I can't help thinking about her whenever I see it. It must be a lonely place to be buried. I think I could live on an island like that. Imagine a little house in the middle, but not be buried on one. Mind you, some people do say that she's not actually there and is secretly buried in the family crypt in Althorpe, and that happened on the day of her funeral, but I guess we'll never know. More wildlife here. So far I've seen pigeons, ducks, Canada geese, and a couple of swans in the island in the centre. I have seen a lapwing floating around as well. Hallelujah! At long last, a squirrel. He was very tame and came right up to me, but he soon scarpered when he realised I had no nuts to give him. Another Canada goose. Now to the left here you have the southern grotto, and to the right the long water. The water in the grotto was stagnant and very stinky. It smelt like farty arses. The long water smelt nice though. Or well, not like farty arses anyway. Heading around the back. It was muddy down here, and true to form, I was not wearing the correct footwear. Give me one glimmer of sunshine and I'm in sandals, as you can see, when I should have been in trainers or even boots. A little memorial tree in front of us, with a plaque in front of it. I had to mince around here. And I was careful not to trample on the bluebells underneath this tree. In the background you can make out Jacob's Well, the little hump to the left. It feeds its water into a body of water which I'll show you next. Let's turn here, and this is where the water trickles into. Very stagnant, but it didn't smell revolting. Back to Jacob's Well, which I love. I have thrown a coin in before and made a wish. Did it come true? No. Do I remember what the wish was? Actually, no. Walking down Bishop's Walk towards the mosaic, and these trees to either side were covered in cobwebs when I came down in winter. It looked a tad spooky, I have to say. The mosaic dates from 2008 and was made by artist Gary Drossel. The mosaic reminds us that we're in the grounds of what was once a bishop's residence. It notes the house's association with the East India Company. It also notes the fact that the grapevine of Hampton Court Palace was propagated from a cutting taken from Valentines Mansion's kitchen gardens. Here's my photo of the grapevine. This was taken in September, so the grapevine was looking rather bald. The grapes had just been harvested. That part is known as the wilderness. I have walked through there before. It's quite rough underfoot. This is the alcove seat ahead of us. The garden wall was almost non-existent before the renovations. You can see the old brick juxtaposed with the new. And here we are by the long water. This is known as the Head of Canal Grotto. These grottos are so rare that they're considered to be of national importance. You can walk over the grotto, but I didn't dare to try that in the shoes I was wearing. I didn't want to slip and fall in. I wanted to walk on the path around the back anyway, to show you the horse pond. There we are, here's the horse pond. Do you know, in all the times I've been coming here, I think it's the first time I've ever bothered to take a look at the horse pond. We are now heading into Valentine's Gardens. The first thing we see is the dry garden. So cool because it needs very little water. This was opened by Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II in 2012 to commemorate her Diamond Jubilee. These are sculptures under by Fiona Heron. The Gardener's Cottage Cafe is behind. And here's a plaque telling you about it all. As we enter the kitchen garden, I'm going to say goodbye to you, but do come and join me in part 2. I will show you the site of the Great British Bake Off tent in 2011. There used to be a nature reserve here in the corner, but it's not there anymore. I'll show you a couple of pictures I took when it was. I believe it had budgerigars in it.
Thank you for watching. Come and see me soon for another miscellaneous adventure. Remember to hit like, hit subscribe and click on the notifications bell. Ta-ta for now.